Hi folks, Joko here. I was in the tips and tricks page tonight and I'm doing a review of an essay that comes from an interesting source. But before I do that, let me do a quick plug for something that I'm quite proud of, that I worked hard on, but I realized that I may not have published it properly and you might not have seen it because everything scrolls down so quickly here. But if you're taking the academic test and you need to practice your Task 1 writing skills, check out the Task 1 picker. I realized that I didn't put the actual link into the it's in the video, but I didn't put it in the thing. Okay, so now that that's done, the one I chose to look at tonight was this one. It's already from May 6th, and I noted at the time that, look how clean it is, and look who's posting it. Hanif Tuition Center. I can't see this post because they are not a member. They can't see this post. What? They're not a member? How did they post it then? Huh. Okay. Maybe Wakas Butt. Wackus Butt. Well, alright. Wakas. And I noted, who is posting this? Are you a learning center or a candidate? So I got curious again and decided to go take a look. And I ended up at, yes, they are a teaching center. Oh, they do math and all kinds of things. English. They're from Pakistan. Oh, look, there's our essay. But I just wanted to see what this person had. And I saw one of my favorite task ones. The land degradation task. Oh, and I watched this video. And please stick to the math. Wakas butt. Wakas. No, don't tell people that there's not comparisons to be made. You just didn't find them. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that essay. It would upset me. And let's look at this one. So, I will appear on the screen. Okay, I'm back. So I had finished reading Wakas Butt's, I couldn't finish the video. It was that infuriating. And, I decided to call this piece Stop Blathering. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the term, to blather, as the dictionary defines it, is to talk long-windedly, lots of words and lots of big words, without making very much sense. And that would be what you're doing in this piece, in a nutshell. And, I try to be nice to students who come in here. I don't always do a good job of that. I can be kind of mean sometimes. But one thing that I think that the other mentors would agree, that one of the biggest challenges that we face as people trying to help you is teachers who have given incorrect information and poor tutelage to students who don't know any better. They don't know. Yeah, they're going to trust you. We have to unteach them a lot of bad habits that we see exemplified in what we're about to read. And that would be things like treating the writing as if it's a means by which to deliver vocabulary. Yeah, it's like the sentences are created, the ideas are structured for no other purpose except to carry words. And somehow it's like the highest number of B2 words that you can fit into a piece of writing, that's going to get you a good score? No. The number one goal in IELTS writing is to write clearly. It's to write to be understood. And this obfuscation with inappropriate lexical phonemes is something that we've had to unteach hundreds, if not thousands, of candidates who've passed through this space. I hope you don't continue to do this. I hope you take a step back and say, am I really qualified to be tutoring the IELTS. Here's our question. Nowadays, the way many people, this is from an official book, nowadays, the way many people interact with each other has changed because of technology. Okay. Now, this is the premise. Now, the premise appears in many questions. It can appear in lots of different types of questions. Now, in this question, this is a two-part question. We've got two open questions that are somewhat related, but are, it's not one question, it's two. And the premise is just there to sort of set the basics, the understanding. You don't have to support the premise. This first sentence is not supposed to be discussed. It's taken as given. Okay? So, what are the two questions? In what ways has technology affected the types of relationships? Okay, the categories. How has it affected friendship? How has it affected, are there new types of relationships that have formed because of technology? That is the main thing that you need to address in the first question. Anything that does not address this part does not belong in that part of the question, or your answer. And the second one, has this, the different types of relationships, become a positive or a negative development? And you'll want to mention both. And I can see from the structure that you chose in your essay, you understand that's how you're supposed to write. Okay. Now, the introduction, you want to keep it simple. You're not going to really you're not going to do much that's going to improve your band scores in the introduction. You basically just want to paraphrase and get out. And I realized at this point I couldn't do my normal marking technique, so I needed a different way of doing it. Aha. Okay. Now, color code. Okay, real quick what my colors mean. Yellow is lexical resources, word choice. Green is grammar. Blue is cohesion and coherence, in particular flow. Okay, does the essay progress? Does it have logical connections? Is it easy to read? It's also used for connectors. And then pink or red is task response. Okay. In recent times, nowadays, I suppose, means of communication. All right. Now, the means of communication is considered a singular verb, a singular noun. It is, it says means. It's singular, so it would be has been, just like appears. It's the way, the means, same thing. And it should be between individuals. Has been modified. No, that's not the correct use of the word modified. Modified is to take an existing thing and to change it slightly, usually, to, you take something in to be modified, and it's still the same thing. But nowadays, we mean the entire way that people interact has changed. So it's not modified by present-day technology. Not needed, okay? You've got in recent times. So we already know when we're talking about. This essay will argue, I hope not, how these means, okay, you've already said means alter the kinds of relationship in which people engage. Also is not a good connector to use at the beginning of a sentence. Also is usually found in the middle of a sentence, generally not at the beginning, at least not in academic writing. Also, it has played, what is it? Has played a pragmatic, a concept like the means of communication can't be pragmatic. It can have pragmatic characteristics, but it itself cannot be pragmatic. Only people can be pragmatic. And you don't have pragmatic role, poor collocation. Those words don't go together. Pragmatic role to bring the societies. There should be some green there. The societies. We don't use the with a plural noun when we are speaking in general. This is one of the main rules of articles. One of the 7 main rules. Okay? So, bring societies closer. All right, well, okay. And help them to share knowledge of their cultural values. To share knowledge and their cultural values. Oh my, you don't have to set all that up. Is it a positive or negative development? That's all we want to know. Okay, it's a lot to cover. To help them to share knowledge and cultural values. This there is superfluous, not needed. Okay, too much in that introduction. But it was the best paragraph, actually. A couple of decades ago, informal. A couple of decades. That's not correct register. Reaching out. This is to loved ones. Okay, all right. Was not easy. Oh, I see. You're trying to restate the premise again. Okay, nowadays, the way people interact. You don't need to do that. Okay? Reaching out to loved ones. This is about communication, all communications, not that. Not just that. And then, however, it does not appear in the how you're using it here. This is a run-on sentence at this point, because, however, was not easy. Full stop. However, it is now accessible, comma, because of the development of the latest communication apps. What? Apps? No? Computers aren't apps. I guess computers were around a couple decades ago, but the internet is not an app. This is not an app. Okay. Whatever. Communication apps, which make it possible with one click to get in touch with anyone living in a different territory. Territory. Okay. That's very insular. It's very. Territories are states within a country. I assume you meant broader than that. Development of latest communication apps. And look how long that sentence is. First of all, however should be at the beginning of a new sentence. But we've got, 1, 2, 3. So reaching out was not easy. However, it is accessible now because a new clause of the development of latest apps, which, because and then which in a different territory. Don't use so many connectors in a single sentence. For example, nowadays, it has been observed. Why the passive here? Why are you switching to the passive? We use the passive in academic writing for a particular purpose, for reasons. Like we don't know who did it, or we're trying to distance ourselves from the action, or it's a debatable topic. You don't just throw in the passive. It has been observed for no particular reason, just to do it. It has been observed by who that many individuals are taking part in intercontinental marriages. That is not good collocation. Intercontinental marriages. So people from Asia are marrying people from Australia, and people in South America are marrying Africans. And Europeans are marrying North American. Oh. Intercontinental. Huh? And so this is the change. This is the different type of relationship that you're supposed to be focusing on in this paragraph. Okay? This whole thing above about the development of the latest communication apps, that's half of your paragraph. And it has nothing to do with the types of relationships. All you're doing is blathering on about the premise. In intercontinental marriages, and at the same time building business relationships. In the intercontinental marriages, they're getting married and building businesses at the same time? The same people? How many of them do that? Can you give us an example? I would expect there to be an example at this point of what you're talking about. For example, no. Okay. These contemporary communication advancements. See, this is what I meant about using the writing to carry vocabulary, instead of choosing vocabulary that fits what you're trying to say. No, you just want to throw 3 consecutive 15-letter words in a row and you think that's good. But this contemporary communication advancements means nothing. These advancements have played a vital role. Okay, tell us how to bring people closer. How? Can you? And besides, it's not about that. It's about the relationships. What types of relationships are there? No, but regardless of race, what does race have to do with anything? Are you gonna? That's a pretty big idea to just throw in at the end of a paragraph. Where's the topic sentence in this paragraph? What's it about? It's very, there's not a lot of grammar mistakes, but it's very poorly constructed. It doesn't answer the question, except for intercontinental marriages. So you did present an idea, but it is completely unsupported. All right, maybe the next paragraph will be better. Okay, so now we jump into the second body paragraph, and you have completely ignored any type of interparagraphal connection. Okay, it's important that you connect the ideas from body paragraph 1 to body paragraph 2. But, even if it's as simple as on the other hand, I don't like that. It's too mechanical. But these contemporary communicators have played a vital role in people closer, regardless of race. Okay. So, if for no other reason than this global coming togetherness, so if for no other reason than better race relations, this can be thought to be a positive development. Okay? So what I've done there is I've taken the bit that I ended the last paragraph with, race, and it's not the best choice, but just whatever it happened to be, and use it as the beginning of your body paragraph number 2. It creates a natural bridge without hitting people over the head with "on the other hand." Now, or, actually here we wouldn't use that because this is an entirely different question. But you can still create cohesion between the paragraphs. Has a very optimistic impact. Now, like pragmatic, optimistic is a personal adjective. It can describe people's personalities, characteristics, but not things. So it can't have an optimistic. Now look, you did it again. It's bad enough that you repeat the same sentence structure, but you repeat the same flawed sentence structure with "however" in the middle of the sentence. Connecting two completely independent clauses. Some flaws exist as nothing can be perfect. And once again, you have taken the second half of the sentence, and even though it's not very long, can't be perfect because, or no, some flaws exist because nothing can be perfect. Why do we need to explain why some flaws exist? And do we talk about the flaws at all? Looking at the bright side, too informal, knowledge sharing has only been possible with the help of interacting communities, which was not possible without the current devices and technologies. What does that mean? I just have a big question mark there. Okay. Knowledge sharing has only been possible because of communities. Which, what is the which? What is which? Well, what does you mean with? Which was not possible without the current devices. So it was only possible with communities, but it was not possible without the devices. So what's causing it? The communities or the devices? It's just blathering. Furthermore, how about an example of what you mean? No examples at all. Furthermore, with the help of instant messaging, people can make abrupt decisions to achieve financial gains. Abrupt has negative connotations. Really, it does. Abrupt is considered a bad thing, generally. To achieve financial gains. Okay. And to mature career achievements. Mature is not a verb. Overall, stuck in task 1, we can say that the state of the art modes of communication have made it possible for the world to become a global village. Oh God, what a cliche. So is that a positive thing? What about the negative impacts? Did you mention? Oh, some flaws exist. We won't tell you what they are, but some flaws exist. Really, in this paragraph, if you want to answer the question, you have to address positive and negatives of the different types of relationships, not the technology itself. The relationship. Where's the relationships in here? No. Career? Being abrupt? Alright, well, so, has it been a positive or negative development? I'm not sure. I guess it's positive. And here I just went nuts. Conclusion, summarize, and don't bring up new ideas. To conclude, technology has changed the way many people connect. This essay is not about the way people connect. It's about the relationships that they build. People are building and strengthening relationships. How? They marry people from other continents. They love to understand. Okay, we have a moral. Same thing as the previous paragraph. You're taking a conjunction like moreover, you're taking a connector like moreover, and using it inside of a sentence when you should. Now we have just a comma splice. Or a run-on sentence. Moreover, they love to understand diverse languages and cultures of various societies. This was not mentioned anywhere in the essay. Finally, thank God, these means of communication have left a positive influence upon the different communities of the world as a whole. I guess it's not about communities, it's about relationships. Contributing to the future evolution of humankind. Oh my. Just had to throw that word in there somehow, huh? Wakas. I hope you've appreciated how I pointed out that a lot of the words that you're using are wrong, and you're using them because you think they fit, and you think that this is a game about introducing high-level vocabulary. The more, everyone's worth a point, and you get more points by the more words you fit in there. No, it just ends up unclear and wrong, and you're not, and you diminish the points you're making, and you haven't stuck to the question. You've overblown the premise. This is a very common thing people do. You know how to write about technology. Okay? You've done that. If you're comfortable doing that. People love to write about certain things that they've written about before. So you spend half the essay talking about the premise, talking about nowadays the way people interact has changed. Yeah, we don't need to discuss that. We need to discuss the questions. And it's not been done. So take this to heart. Stop teaching. Teach math.